Welcome to this presentation on CCA Treated Wood. CCA refers to chromated copper arsenate. CCA is a water-soluble, inorganic pesticide commonly used as a wood preservative. It is used for timber treatment for almost a century. CCA is a mixture of chromium, copper, and arsenic, formulated as oxides or salts, and it is recognizable for its greenish tint it imparts to timber. Copper acts as a fungicide and bactericide, arsenic acts as the insecticide, and chromium is primarily used as a fixing agent, binding the other elements to the wood's cellulose and lignin, but provides some UV protection as well. CCA has been used since the 1930s when it was first invented by an Indian lumber engineer named Dr. Sonti Kamasam. In the years that followed, 3 forms of CCA were standardized by the AWPA, the American Wood Protection Association. These 3 differ in their ratios of copper to chromium to arsenic. Pressure processes are the most permanent method around in preserving timber life today. Pressure processes are those in which the treatment is carried out in closed cylinders with applied pressure and/or vacuum. These processes have a number of advantages over the non-pressure methods. In most cases, a deeper and more uniform penetration, as well as a higher absorption of the preservative, is achieved. CCA is made using a pressure treatment process. An aqueous solution of CCA is applied using a vacuum and pressure cycle. The treated wood is then stacked to dry. During the process, the mixture of oxides reacts to form insoluble compounds, helping with leaching problems. Speaking of leaching, chromium, copper, and arsenic can leach into the soil or water when wood treated with CCA is exposed to the environment. Many factors can affect the amount of leaching that occurs from the treated wood. Such factors include how long the wood has been exposed to the environment, the size and type of wood that was treated, whether the wood is coated with a sealant, water movement, and the type of soil. The chemicals that leach from CCA treated wood can accumulate in soil near the wood, but under certain conditions, the chemicals can travel farther. In general, CCA chemicals are least mobile in organic soils, slightly more mobile in clay soils, and most mobile in sandy soils or water. A more serious risk than leaching is presented if CCA treated timber is burnt in confined spaces such as domestic fires or barbecues. If the smoke containing CCA is inhaled, this allows the chromium, copper, but mainly the arsenic to cause the most harmful effects. Scrap CCA construction timber continues to be widely burnt through ignorance in both commercial and domestic fires. In December of 2003, manufacturers voluntarily discontinued the production of CCA treated timber for residential uses. The EPA has not banned CCA and does not require the removal of existing structures made with CCA treated wood or the surrounding soil. Young children are at more risk of exposure to CCA because they tend to spend more time outdoors and playing in playgrounds, and because they have a habit of putting everything in their mouths. The amount of CCA leached onto the surface of wood depends on the type of wood and the age of the structure. The amount ingested also depends on the frequency of hand-to-mouth activities. When working with CCA treated wood, it is advisable to wear dust masks, gloves, and protective clothing to decrease exposure to sawdust. One should apply sealant every 1 or 2 years to CCA treated wood structures to reduce direct contact with the wood preservative. Furthermore, do not use CCA treated wood as mulch or wood chips, and do not put sawdust into composting piles. Lastly, never burn CCA treated wood. Chromated copper arsenate was a primary means of treating wood from the early 20th century until about a decade ago. It is likely that any treated wood built prior to 2003 contained CCA. Since 2003, CCA is mostly used in wood shake, shingles, permanent foundation, and support beams. Despite the reduction in use, there is still great uncertainty regarding the exposure dose that results from contact with CCA treated wood. Finally, here are some great references and resources to learn more about chromated copper arsenic. Thank you for listening. I hope this presentation satisfied all your CCA wood treatment interests.